Ambassador into the chairperson of CK Foundation, distinguished resource persons, distinguished participants, distinguished invited guests.
Our wealthy trade share is LDCs. All LDCs who are members of the WTO, it's 1%. And if you exclude the exports of oil from such countries like Angola, you remain with the hardly 0.5.
So essentially, trade facilitation deals with simplifying the procedures to trade internationally. And the problem in Africa is that time-wise and money-wise, import and export activities are fairly costly, because you need to submit a lot of documents, you need to go to different offices to get the due authorizations and so on. So ultimately for enterprises and firms, it becomes very time consuming and relatively more costly than elsewhere in the world to export and import their goods.
Well, I think one of the major challenges we have in Africa are infrastructural problems. We have supply side constraints, we have high costs of production, and all of these play into causing obstacles to trade for developing countries. And of course there is an absence of adequate trade finance.
What can be done, do you think? Well, the easiest answer to that.
In my view, I think that if we could build partnerships, first within our own countries and also with the developed countries, in order to help address some of the supply side constraints through programs such as Aid for Trade, if we can build infrastructure, if we can diversify production, it could be very useful.
Actually, we've done at the Economic Commission for Africa, we've done some research along the Northern Corridor, which connects the port of Dar es Salaam with the landlocked countries like Burundi or Uganda and so on. And what we found out is that actually out of the time that the container takes to go from the port of Dar es Salaam to Bujumbura, nearly 70% of that time is actually spent in the port of Dar es Salaam to get all the document authorization and be released.
You see, trade is difficult because you see many agencies involved in trade. And this, you see, take time for traders to finish their things within not one day, but it takes 2 times. And the other thing is what we call the administration's obstacles. So this you see, this is now our problem. If we solve this problem, I think we can move towards the improvement of trade in Sudan.
Yeah, we looked at the establishment of one-stop border post. So we need the infrastructure, we need buildings, we need those offices to be able to accommodate that OSBP.
What does that mean, one-stop border post?
This is a concept where all the regulatory agencies are working in the same place, under the same roof, and so that the importer doesn't need to go from one office to another office. So he will find it's like a one-stop border, it's like one-stop office.
And how is it today? It's not like that, you have to stop.
It depends. We have already implemented the OSBP. Like in Rwanda, I can give the example of Rwanda. We have an OSBP with Burundi. We have an office where you can find offices from migration and customs in the same office. So the importer doesn't have to work to go from one office to another office. So he find all the regulatory agencies within one building.
So both the Rwanda migration and the Burundi migration isn't the same?
And customs as well, and some other regulatory agencies working at the borders.
Donc le problème des transports pour accéder à la mer, donc le pays frontière qui sont le Sénégal, le Niger et la Côte d'Ivoire, il est évidemment, nous butons à des problèmes de transport dans ce sens d'abord. Donc le transport constitue un problème énorme et réel pour le commerce au niveau du Mali.
Another big challenge that we have is that as a landlocked country, we have a problem of transport, and we don't have access to the sea. So we have other countries like Senegal
Côte d'Ivoire
and Ivory Coast. So the problem of transport remains a big challenge to us.
So the victims are traders and consumers in general, because this affects both import and export activities. But there is a component in this cost which is actually a fixed cost, meaning, for example, you have to collect certain documents from different offices, so you have to dedicate a certain person to run around, get the right signature, the right stamp. Of course, this ends up being a more burdensome cost for small and medium enterprises that have to dedicate one person for relatively small volumes of trade, rather than for big corporations that export large quantities and can easily pay for one staff to specialize only on these procedures.
At the conference, there has been a lot of talking about bureaucracy and many papers to deal with for export and import. Do you know about? Have you suffered from this as well?
Yes, why not? I cannot be an exception. Why not? Actually, that's why you are here. We are trying to see if this could be reduced, and also if the time could be minimized. You see, it takes, for instance, if you're importing a vehicle from once it's in by the port, it may take you about the minimum is 2 weeks to get it out. That's the minimum. While all documentations are already done, but you know there are small hitches here and there, which are preventing you from getting the vehicle out. I say this so because here we are talking the main theme of the symposium. We are talking about we are talking about how to reduce the cost of handling all the. Actually, we're talking about business here. This is what we're talking about. But apparently, people who are in the meeting here, they are from the public organization, from the governments. So there is no business community which is represented properly here. You see. So actually, we are working on someone. It's just like having a patient at home. Then you go to the doctor, start telling him that, you know, he's suffering from this, maybe you can get tablets, you can get this, you can get this, without the doctor seeing the patient. This should be made under the PPP plan. That's the public-private partnership, sort of. The private partnership, the private sector should be also well represented.